And welcome back to another podcast with Mr. Hagan. And in this podcast, we're going to continue to talk about the distinction between gross domestic product and aggregate expenditures. This is what we were talking about on some of the recent podcasts. And we said that what's going to be really important to our discussion is the distinction between unplanned investment and inventories, those which are the same thing. Those not sure if I'm saying this right. What I'm meaning to say is unplanned investment, changes in inventory are going to be a big part of the macroeconomic story that we're going to tell. That was the whole goal on this last podcast that we were talking about. So I want to build on that idea. That idea by very clearly stating the difference, the distinctions between between gross domestic product and aggregate expenditure. So remember this: gross domestic product is equal to consumption plus gross investment. And gross investment, we now said, can be broken down into two parts. Gross investment is planned investment plus unplanned investment. And remember, unplanned investment, that really just is changes in inventories. That's what it is. It's just changes in inventories as unplanned investment. So gross domestic product includes in it all types of investment. The planned investment, which is capital, new construction, and the unplanned investment, which is changes in inventories. Aggregate expenditures, on the other hand, only includes consumption and planned investment. So it does not include unplanned investment. That's the difference right there. So these are the same. Consumption, planned investment is the same. Unplanned investment is not included in aggregate expenditures. So therefore, we are defining these two variables so as to draw out the distinction between gross domestic product production and aggregate expenditure spending, the difference being unplanned investment or changes in inventory. So this is all done intentionally. So along this 45-degree line, I said that's where GDP is equal to aggregate expenditures. So where does that happen? That happens whenever unplanned investment is equal to zero. Whenever there are no changes to inventories, then GDP and aggregate expenditures are the same thing. Now, I have to do some corrections on this graph. This is how I was writing it before, but I have to do some corrections. First correction is aggregate expenditures is equal to consumption plus, not gross investment anymore. That really was never right. It's aggregate expenditures equal to consumption plus planned investment. And I have to change my consumption up here is now going to be aggregate expenditures. It's going to be consumption plus planned investment. It's going to be consumption plus planned investment. So now we're going to compare two things. We're going to compare the 45-degree line, which is you might want to think of as the production line, to the aggregate expenditure line, which you might want to think of as the spending line. And we're going to look at that on a future podcast and get into how this model actually works. The distinguishing characteristic that we're focusing on in this video is the difference between production and spending, gross domestic product, aggregate expenditures, and the difference is unplanned investment or changes in inventory. That's the big idea. We'll talk more about this on another podcast. Thanks for joining me. This has been Mr. Hagan, and we'll see you on the next podcast.